So, you've seen this Smoothini trick, and it's kind of impressive. When you just see the trick for the first time and you don't see how it works, you just miss all the details, and you say, wow, how does he do that? And finally you just realize, when you learn the trick, that it's so easy, that you can do it yourself. With a little bit of practice, it's not that difficult, is it? That's about the attention blindness, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit on this second part to this attention blindness model. What is important to us when we see that sort of thing is that we are prone to lose our attention or capacity to see the whole picture. Again, this is why regression test is happening in most cases. Because we just change a little value here, and this little value here is involved in many, many other schemes and many, many other tracks and procedures and whatever, or objects or whatever you like, and then suddenly it changes the whole picture. And we just did not realize, we just changed something. This is also another human phenomenon, that is that we are very optimistic, all in all. We have to be optimistic anyway, because we don't run fast, we are not very strong, we don't have extremely sharp teeth, we don't dive fast, so we are pretty even animals, all in all. But now we rule the world, or we think we do. So we have to be pretty optimistic, right? And because we are optimistic, we focus on one little stuff and we believe that it will solve. But actually we do even worse. That's the same with my car example in the first part. We think that this is our spot and then we can go. But we do not realize when somebody is coming. That's about it. It has other sorts of consequences. For instance, if you look at a web page, because we don't see the whole picture, and I will show you how we read web pages, and actually we don't even read them in most cases, we just skip complete parts of information, okay? And there were usability studies on where to put important elements on a web page. And if you have to design a web page, never ever put navigation on the right side of the page. Never ever. Not even one element of navigation, not even one important element. Because if you do so, it will be immediately taken as an ad, and people don't like to get advertising all the time. And people forget about it, and people don't see it. I'm doing the shortcut, but this is how it is processed, and we don't see that. So you can put buttons, an important element, on the right side on the page, and nobody sees them. And then, of course, you will complain because, yeah, but it was there, it was so visible, it's that big. Yeah, nobody sees that. Okay? If you want it to be seen, and this is what advertisers do, they make it blinking. Because if you make it blinking, then your peripheral vision sees it and interprets it as movement, and then you're attracted or distracted. And then you're unhappy because this is just another silly ad on top. Okay? By the way, we also tend to be very social animals. And this is why things like Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever brand you have or like, are developing that fast. We are social animals. And because we are social animals, we have this kind of imitation syndrome, this kind of mirror neurons. Okay? And I will show you what it's all about. Talking about web pages, do you think that we read web pages? No, we don't. In less than 3 seconds, we scan the page. This is how we process. We scan the page, and we just check if there is something for us in there. And when we see something that is interesting, point of interest, POI, we spot it and we stick to it. In average on a web page, we read about 20% of the content, 20% of the words. So if you want to write your whole diary on a web page, it's not a good idea because you won't be read. We have a scanner that is 200 pixels wide in average. This has been checked with the special kind of glasses in the usability lab, you know, these kind of eye testing kind of stuff. I will show you. And because we are more and more mobile, though now people start to skip tablets all over again, we want to have something that are very flashing, very immediate, so news, a big picture, and we go. Okay, so less and less content. This is how we read a web page. Usually we use some kind of F pattern. And it's logical, because on the top of the F there, you have what? You have the headers, you have the big navigation stuff, you have the content description. This is what it's all about. If this is not what is on your website, then you make a big mistake, my friends. This is the focus point. Oh, I spotted something that is interesting on this page. Let's have a look. And then you have this part, and this part is generally the secondary navigation. Okay, this is interesting, what else can I have? So, this is how we browse a page. This is how we read a page. What is it all about? Oh, that sounds interesting. What else? Okay? In that order. By the way, as I said, we are social people, social animals. So, we are attracted by some details. It is called joint attention. Let me tell you a nice magic trick that you can practice any time of the day. You just walk along the street and then suddenly you stop and you look up. And if you don't get 10 people looking up together with you after 10 minutes, there's really something wrong in Russia. And then you have to escape, because they're not very happy. Okay? Why is it important? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we want to sell products, we want to sell advertisement, we want to sell news, we want to sell whatever we want to sell. But if we want to sell something, it has to be well positioned. It has to attract the attention, and it's not that obvious. If we think that people will not use the F pattern on our magic web page, forget about it. You're not different. Look at that one. This is an advertising that had been made to attract the attention of her handicapped. And this is a real model, so she is doing shows and so on and so forth. Look. Immediately you've seen it. Look at this one. Ain't it fabulous? What have you seen? Who read the title? Who read the text? You just look at the baby. Oh, he's so cute, so smart. Or she may be, because of him. Oh, she's so cute, so smart. I want the same at home. Not anymore. Okay? If I use that one, he's probably as smart or as cute, but he's looking at the text. And you would probably notice that I wrote a lot of garbage there. Okay? And now, ladies and gentlemen, you see it. Everyone is looking at it. Okay? You think, I'm just joking here. This is a real usability test. Okay? That big company was selling diapers. And they had a big issue because they did not understand why people didn't see the brand new product. They were not converting, they were not, you know, it was not appealing, and they didn't get it. So they did this eye test. So I don't know if I have a picture in this presentation, but this is a pair of glasses, and you have cameras. And these cameras are just watching what you watch. And then it makes the time, how to say that, related to the time that you stay with your sight on something, it records and puts a color. And the redder or yellower the color, the most time or attention you get. Okay? And this is exactly my example. If you look at the original page, everyone was seeing the brand cute baby with these big baby's eyes. Oh, that's also why Walt Disney and the mangas are making these big eyes. You know, that's an animation technique. You focus. They're so cute. Oh, look at these little squirrels. They're so cute. Yeah, they have eyes like, you know, like this. 3/4 of the face. But we focus on it because we're human. Because it's terribly annoying if you talk to somebody and you never watch a person. This is also some kind of autistic behavior sometimes. Okay? And what you say might make sense, might be extremely clever, might be extremely interesting and important for the person, but you don't feel at ease. Just because you don't have this eye contact. And if this eye contact is too focused, then you feel as well a little bit unease, because what's going on? Is there something wrong, or why are you staring at me? These kind of things, you know? They just changed the picture, and suddenly people saw the text. So you see the red and yellow colors, and suddenly, oh, they discovered that there are diapers there. There's something to sell. Okay? So if you design a website, well, that's not only your website, by the way. This is an example for a website, and I used a lot of websites here. Why? Because we all know what a website is. But if you're designing a train control or a plane control interface or something, think about that as well. Where is the important information located? How is this information displayed? There have been plane crashes just because the important information was misleading. Just because of that. Just because the angle of descent and the speed were confused because they were on the same piece of the interface with different units. And this plane crashed, Mont-Saint-Odile, 1992, if I remember well. Just because of these kind of things. Okay, so that's not easy, that's not obvious. And whether you're designing a piece of software for whoever, think about these kind of things. Okay, that's the same with the paths. Oh, cognitive biases. This is how we build the world. This is our mental model, how we think the world is spinning. And how we think people are reacting, and so on and so forth. Okay? This is fabulous, isn't it? I have a better one, but I could not put it in here. I didn't have the time to process, but I have a video, and they show the trick, and it's really amazing. So this is on the other side, so it looks fabulous. This is how it works. That guy is sitting, okay? And in my example, this is a video. You can find it on the net, and I will put it in the next version. Unfortunately, not for you. Sorry about that. But these are the same. These are two Chinese guys, and they're playing with these kind of things. And suddenly you have a guy coming in and just throw 5 crackers, and then they fall, and then you see the whole trick. That's kind of funny. Well, not for the guys. Just an example, and I had this conversation with one of you at a post. We do believe that we know better. We do believe that we know, yes, how it's working. And actually, there's been a nice come on, I'm losing my English now. There was a survey, thank you very much for not helping me. There was a nice survey from the OECD, and it's available to public. It's called Skills Matter. And it's been run over 4 years, between 2011 and 2015. And they interviewed more than 200,000 people, okay, on this one. And actually, the questions were focusing on how good they were with regards to IT and their abilities with regards to IT. And the conclusions were 55 different countries, not developed countries, IT developed countries, right? And the conclusion was that 5% were high-skilled, high computer-related abilities. And you know what is high computer-related abilities towards the OECD? Secretary tasks. I can book a meeting in the tool and make sure that different people can attend and combine their agendas. I can grab information from different sources coming from different kind of emails and build a whole story and rebuild the whole story all over again. Okay? Things that we do even when we sleep. Okay? We are in these 5%. 95% of the population is not able to do that. Might be your aunt, your father, your mother, might be your hairdresser, your plumber, your whatever, your friends, okay? We are ITers. And today we are designing products for people that are not ITers and don't care about IT. 15 years ago we were making IT for ITers by ITers. Everything was okay. We could substitute to our users. We were talking to each other. It was not working either, but we knew why, and then we could be, we could forget about it. Now today my hairdresser doesn't understand anything about it. It doesn't work, I can't do that. Why the hell can't I post anything on Facebook now? That's it. And they don't want to hear that, if you inject code in here and you have this binary code there and the flag is not okay and it's being read. Don't care shit, my friend, I just want to do my trick. Okay? So, developers are not users. Please do run usability tests. It's not that expensive. 5 users give you already a gold mine of information. Okay? Try to know your users. Try to know what they are looking for. Another example, usability. Okay? That's a mental model. This lady made a website, that's a real example. Well, not the real page, but the real example. The lady was selling diet methods and diet products. Okay? And she said, I made a lot of advertisement and it worked, because I have a lot of visitors on my website. But the problem is that I don't have a lot of conversion. So people come, they stay a bit, Google Analytics and so on and so forth, they stay a bit, so they read, but they don't buy. Why the hell is it? Okay? So, we did some usability tests. And the problem was that skinny lady, she's beautiful. Well, if you like it so, it's beautiful. But she's skinny. She doesn't need to lose weight anymore. That's kind of Barbie girl. Where do you want to remove fat from that? There's no possibility. And I, as a lady, I'm maybe looking a little bit like this, which is also beautiful, by the way, but okay, that's just my word. And I don't recognize myself in there. I'm not that lady. So this is not targeting me. I don't see myself in there. So why the hell would I buy? They just changed one little picture, and it worked. Yeah. This is the $50,000 button. Well, that's another example like this. Okay. Another one, it's so brilliant. This was a company, and this company wanted to build something that was a combination of LinkedIn, Facebook, and Meetic. This is, meet your beloved one on the internet, if you don't know Meetic. Okay? And I said, well, we have this brilliant concept, but we need to fine-tune our homepage. And the question they asked in the usability lab was, do you think it's a good idea? Would you use such a service? 99.5% of the people said, no, this is not a good idea, we don't want to use that crap. They kept their idea and I said, no, 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 you don't know anything. This is the business concept. It is brilliant. It will work. 1 year later, they were bankrupt. Okay? Because Meetic and Facebook are not compatible. Neither is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is more a professional kind of network. Facebook is for friends. Meetic is, I want to meet somebody and I don't want to tell the whole world that I'm meeting somebody, maybe. And surely not my professional sphere. Okay? We also have other kind of biases, that is time framing. Time framing is forcing a binary choice, you know? Take this or that. And then you have this expression, think out of the box. It might be a third option. We will die free or trying to be free. Is there a third option? I don't want to die. Okay? This is something that we very, very often use. In our way of presenting things, this is something that we very, very much often use. And suddenly we realize that, oh, there might be a third option and this option might be even better. Okay, so try to think about that. Anytime you present things like either or, be prepared to have either or, but it might be a third option that is better. Oh, this one is also about manipulation. Okay, I will go find. This is the one that I want to force. That's about forcing cards. You know, forcing cards. This is the one that I want to force. So I have 3 cards displayed, and I absolutely need you to choose the ace of hearts because this is the 4th card, and I will be happy. Okay. What am I going to do? Because I have 6 cards, I'm going to force your choices. And the first thing that I will tell you, and it's just about the wording. I will say, push 1 card. So you will push 1 card, whatever it is. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are whatever cards you want, kings or whatever. Okay, push 1 card. If you choose the ace of hearts, I'm the happiest man in the world. I read your mind, I influence you. Okay? If not chosen, I will say, push another one. And push another one. So I have 3 that you pushed. Okay? Now, the trick is that if in these cards you pushed, the ace is there, I will keep them. If it's not, I will discard. But because I said push and not choose or anything else, you don't know if my intention is to discard or keep. You see the difference? You see the nuance? So I have the complete freedom to keep the ace. There's a probability in there, and the probability is increasing. The probability that I get the ace is increasing step by step, because I have 1 out of 6, and now I have 1 out of 3. And then I will say, because I don't know what your next round will be, I will say take 1 card. Okay? And by saying take 1 card, if you choose the ace, wonderful. The trick is done. If you don't, take 1 more. And then you can again choose to discard or keep. I changed the wording a little bit. Because if I say push, I will be forced to do the same stuff that I did before in your mind. Otherwise you will detect some kind of trick. If I said push and discard, if I say push again, I will have to discard. If I say take, you don't know. Probability is increasing fast, and the probability that you choose the ace, because it's a very appealing card anyway, is very high. Yes, I know. And then I will say put aside. That is the worst case ever. Put aside. And this is the trick. So you can influence people. In testing, it comes to the A/B testing. This is usability trick that you use, well, not influencing, but choosing the best. Okay? You have 2 designs that are quite alike, each other's, and you have 1 element that is changing. and you ask a certain population, more or less cleverly chosen, to tell you which one is the best. And if you have 55 people out of that 100 that tells you this is the best, then this is probably the best design for you. I've seen marketing online in LinkedIn today. They're doing this. They just present 2 designs for, I don't know, chocolate box or something, or a logo, and they say, which one do you think is the best? And this is very cheap usability test that they run. And it works. Okay. Very important is to make sure that the questions that you ask are the right questions. Okay. Maybe a little bit more, because we still have 3 minutes left. Okay. That was it for my presentation. By the way, you get the free trick of the rabbit, White Rabbit. Wonderful restaurant, White Rabbit. And one of you asked me for references regarding this talk, and this is definitely a very, very good reference. If you want to read about magic, explaining the magic trick, neuroscience, there's nothing about testing in there. So all the rest is mine. This is a little bit more serious, well, no, not more serious, it is as serious as the other one, but this is about emotions. And all his work was about emotion and facial recognition. Maybe Lie to Me, you know, the series, Lie to Me? No? Doesn't tell you anything? Okay, so that's about it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the show.